All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is Tuesday, August 27th, 6:30 p.m. We are at the Twinsburg Government Center, and I'm going to call the Finance Committee to session. Let's see, Mr. Bellin is here. Who else is on Finance? Mr. Post.
And Barr.
And Mr. Barr.
Here.
It's been a while.
All right, yeah, it has been a while. Also in attendance is the rest of council, the law director, the mayor, and the finance director.
Jonah.
And Jonah.
Jonah.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
I don't know where Daisy went.
Daisy is here. I know she was, yeah.
She is.
Is there any audience participation? Jonah, would you like to speak this evening? No, sir. All right. All right. Let's see. Next up on the agenda is approval of the minutes for both the April 23rd and May 28th meetings. Point of clarification, Mr. Vazana, are we allowed to approve these minutes together as a single motion, or do we have to do them separately? I'll do them separately. Doesn't matter.
So
That's
I'm
fine. That's-
pausing. No, it's a great question. I'm pausing because I generally say vote on everything
That's fine.
individually.
That's fine.
Because what if one person doesn't have a problem with one, but another member of the body has a problem with the other? Now you've put them in a situation where they're like, what do I do? But at the end of the day, if you were to approve them
Yep.
en masse,
Not a problem.
yeah, it's not
Okay.
going to be a problem.
Gotcha.
But my advice, best practice, do them individually.
Okay.
If it's okay.
Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from April 23rd, 2024?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from April 2024.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Post makes a motion. I will second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, the minutes from the April 23rd, 2024 meeting pass unanimously 3-0. Now about the May 28th, 2024 minutes.
I'll make a motion.
Oh, sorry.
Mr. Barr makes a motion.
As submitted.
All right, and may I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Post seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, minutes from the May 28th, 2024 minutes are approved 3-0. Next up, Ms. Conway, is the quarterly revenue review. Take it away. Good evening.
Good evening. So this is technically a lie. I did this through July 31st because we've been on break. So it would have been a second quarter review, but we have an extra month thrown in there. So next time I will include page numbers for reference. So I'll just go through some notable items that transpired over the last 4 months. On the first page, second little bullet area, you'll see general county local government. We did receive an update from Summit County. These are local government funds that are distributed through Summit County. We are going to have to reduce that number, so they will send us on our certificate of estimated resources any updates that are to revenue numbers that they foresee. So if there's a change in property tax, if there's a change in local government funds, they will send us an update to those. They sent us an update in the end of July. That number is going from 285,000 down to 267,000. So just a note for that. Also on that page, just some notable items. Rec day camp fees. We have well surpassed our estimate of 275,000. Rec camp is obviously over now since summer camp is concluded, but they took in about $306,000 in revenue this year. So we hope to boost that number for next year. They had a great turnout for camp. That includes all of the camp registrations and all of the after and before care that parents pay for their children. And then you'll see 2 spaces below that, field usage fees. That's a new category for this year because we have this agreement with the baseball league and the softball leagues to use the fields. We have field usage agreements now where different organizations pay to use those fields. So there is a little bit of revenue in there, which is something that's new for 2024. On the next page, let's see, the 1, 2, 3, 4th, I don't want to say paragraph, but grouping down, you'll see interest on investments. Through July, we had $328,000. Just for a little bit of reference, through July of 2022, we had $60,000, and July of 2023, we had $121,000. So again, I think I explained that we changed the way that we do our checking, and it's pretty much a hybrid account now, so anything that's included in our checking account, we're making interest on. So those interest payments range anywhere from $10,000 to $30,000 a month. So that's additional revenue that we get that was just sitting in the bank.
The fact that we have gone from $66,000 to $328,000 in 2 years, if I heard you correctly?
This is, well, we made the change in, I want to say like July or August of last year.
Okay. That is, I mean, phenomenal, amazing, tremendous. So thank you. That's awesome. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
There's no reason that our money shouldn't be working for us, so. And then, we don't like to see revenue go down. However, unfortunately, in that same grouping, concert sponsors and donations, we did see a downfall in our concert sponsorship and any type of donations that we received this year. We did have a shortened Rock the Park season. I want to say that number is around like the mid-50s, so just a heads up that that number is not going to be anywhere near where we anticipated. We hope for that to rebound next year with an increased concert season.
When we put this budget together, that 200K that we've got in there, I don't remember the timing. Did we know that
We knew that it was only going to be 3 concerts.
Okay.
I think we did lower
Yeah.
the revenue estimate that
Okay.
we had. I think we were just too hopeful in the,
Okay, so that 200K was down from
From-
where we, okay, I don't remember where it was. Okay, thank you.
and then, so the halfway point or the 7-month point would be around 15.8 million. So we're at 19.7. So we are at a good point for this part in the year for the general fund. I'm going to skip a lot of the special revenue funds, like the federal grant and the state grant. We're overexpended right now. Those are reimbursement accounts. We just haven't gotten the reimbursements for some of these projects. So if you check the statement of cash that we send every month, those 2 funds are going to be in the negative because we haven't been reimbursed for projects that we've expended money on. Let's see. We'll skip to what would be the second to last page, where you see the golf course. This is through July, however, our greens fees, we're at about $775,000 of our $850,000 estimate. We're at like 86% for this point in the year. The golf course is actually doing really, really well right now. Weather has been a very helpful factor in that, but we hope that we can stay open as long as we can. But again, everything's weather dependent. And then if you go to the next page, you'll see total revenue for all funds. So we're at about 30 million. So we are at a good place for our revenue collection. Again, a lot of those special revenue funds are dependent on reimbursements for grants. So you have to finish the projects before you get reimbursed for them. Any questions on revenue report?
2 quick ones from me. One, back on the county local government item that went from 285 to 267, or we think, what's the reason for that?
It's usually dependent on what they receive from the state. So some of it we get from the state
Okay.
directly, some of it is passed through. So those local government funds have been decreasing annually.
Okay,
So they just update the estimates when they get more
Gotcha.
definite numbers.
and do we know what the increase from 275 to 306 on day camp was attributed to? Is it just more campers? Is it?
Honestly, I would have to check with Jen.
Okay, I was just curious.
I don't know if we had a larger enrollment, if we had more parents
Okay.
that, you know,
I was just
needed
curious.
extended care, but
Okay. Anybody else on the finance committee have questions?
that looks great. Numbers look good.
Anybody else on council have questions? All right. Time for expenses.
same thing, this is through July, so second quarter's a lie. There's nothing really that stands out at this point. None of the departments are running anywhere close to, I want to say we should be at about 68% through July. No one is running close to that number. We're about $3 million under our budget through 7 months for the general fund. And then if you flip to the next page, we're about $5 million under our total budget for this point through 7 months of the year. So nothing is out of the ordinary, nothing's out of control. Everyone is in a good spot. Like I said, those Enterprise funds, no one's running in the negative.
Okay.
So we're running smoothly.
Awesome. Finance Committee, any questions, comments, concerns?
Great news.
Rest of council? Anything? Thank you, Christina. Next up is the Financial Health Indicator Report results.
So I did mention this at the last council meeting before break. We had just received that day that from the Auditor of State that we got our FHI report. We are all green for the second year in a row. There are 17 different categories that the state auditor looks at for your financial health. Again, there's a second to last page. They give a little breakdown of where you are over the last 5 years. You can see there are a couple yellow spots, there are a couple black spots, which pretty much just mean that they weren't applicable to us at the time, but, you know, it's a really good sign. We're moving in the right direction, hopefully stay in the right direction. Any questions on that report?
The green report is amazing. Thank you very much. Finance, anything else? Council?
I just wanted to, I believe that the current statement of cash from 7/31/2024 has the highest numbers I've ever seen. We're sitting on an unexpended balance of $42.1 million. We have a beginning balance of 21.5, and we're projecting an ending balance of last month of 23.3 rough. And I know that this is a snapshot, and it's probably going to change, but in the scheme of what a nice picture this is, it's never looked this good to me before, and I look at this often. So thank you, and thank you. And we're doing okay, in my opinion.
It's okay, it could always be better.
Christina's doing a great job.
No doubt.
All right. Miscellaneous. Members of the Finance Committee, I got anything for miscellaneous this evening? No? All right. Mayor, anything?
Nothing, thanks.
Christina?
Just a heads up for those who were not involved, we had our first capital improvement boards meeting this evening. Fitness Center, or Jen Bettinson presented for Parks and Rec, Seniors and Fitness. Jim Roberts presented for the golf course, and Zach Heberbrand presented for the IT department. The next meeting will be next Tuesday. We will have Public Works-related departments. All departments submitted their budgets the first week of August, so we're going through those. The mayor and I are meeting with any departments that have capital requests first, and then we will get to everyone else who just has operating budgets. So we are working through that process. Other than that, finance is always busy.
Okay.
So I got a memo, or got a note about Summit County intergovernmental agreements. Is that a finance issue, or is that something you're going to cover?
That will be covered at tonight's council meeting by Rebecca Ziegler.
Rebecca's thing.
Thank you.
Got it.
Just, okay.
Okay. All right. That being said, the next meeting of just the Finance Committee will be on Tuesday, September 24th. And I know that obviously we can join you next week on the 10th for CIB. Do you have any thoughts on what time you would like the 24th meeting to start?
So the 24th meeting will really just be the Capital Improvement Board presenting their recommendations to council. I don't intend on having anything additional, so
Okay.
it's really up to you. I don't think it's going to take
Is a half hour sufficient, or do you want an hour?
half hour sufficient.
Okay, so we'll do that at 6:30 PM on Tuesday, September 24th, prior to the council meeting. All right. Anything else this evening?
Nothing.
All right. With that, I will adjourn the Finance Committee meeting at 6:44 PM.